what I didn't get in that much trouble. I was just kind of like told basically,
don't buy live animals again.
Howdy fellas, how are we? Are we shining like my nose? Oh my gosh. I am feeling this outfit, so, and it's a beautiful day, and I was like, we are gonna make a video. I'm propping my phone up on a potted plant that's about to go overboard. So I kind of had that idea to do some like treatment and recovery related stuff, and something that I thought might be interesting was I found a bunch of my stuff from Selah, and thought it might be fun to kind of go through that and show you guys some of my stuff. I don't freaking know. I guess we could start with the good old tan sack thing. I got this on my admission day, and they gave us, I got like a pencil pouch thing. I talked about this in the last video. I got like a flash drive, some like fidgety stuff like silly putty, headphones, probably a pen, maybe something else. But like I took this everywhere. It's full of my various Pilot G2 pens, which those are the best pens ever. You cannot change my opinion. Actually, that's a fact. So they gave us a folder. I ended up somehow swiping like 3 of these because I just kept running out of places to put my stuff. Inside it is a bunch of our worksheets and papers that we got. I wonder if there's anything interesting in here. Oh, yeah, I have a bunch of photos. So we were allowed to keep photos at our spot at the table. Everybody had their own spot, and we sat in the same place for every meal and snack. So here are some of the photos that I kept at my spot. A lot of them are things that my Mimi or friends sent me. I kind of use them as reminders of like reasons why I'm choosing recovery. So like, here's one of me and some of my track friends at Thanksgiving. Here's me, my mom, Tanner, and Maggie at Kings Island several years ago. This is me at the state track meet my sophomore year. I got 5th place in the 300 hurdles. This is when I did cheerleading, that one time when I was like 3. This is me looking like an absolute hype beast as an infant. Here's me in a Barney costume for Halloween with all my cousins. Not all my cousins, several of them. We're very close. We grew up at Mimi's house basically, so we were always together. It was almost like a second set of brothers and sisters. Here's me doing soccer when I was like 3. I think this is my first year. My friend sent me this. It's of us. We were trying to do our rendition of The Last Supper. This picture was caught like the second after my friend accidentally threw me his underwear out of his bag because he thought it was a shirt. And so he's making this face. I don't know if you could see it. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. So yeah, I kept some of those at my table as reminders, and it was really nice to have. So here's the menu that I showed in my first video of the recovery series or whatever. If you didn't see that, I guess I'll somehow link that. I don't know. People say they're gonna link it in the comments below, so I'll try that. This looks like a love language test that we took. My love language is quality time, and words of affirmation and physical touch are the lowest. So yeah, I don't know. This is for a client-led group. We had one of our friends teach us how to do calligraphy, and that was super fun. I wasn't too bad at it. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yikes. This is, so for a lot of my time at Selah, I was working with my therapist on like tracking my moods and kind of the cycles that they would go through. So she wanted me to document and kind of journal the moods that I have 3 times a day, in the morning, the afternoon, and evening, their intensity, and just some like notes about what I was feeling or things that I was experiencing. So I kind of went through, I don't know if you could see that, but this is an inner child thing group that we did with one of our therapists there, where we had to draw with our non-dominant hand and then we like talked about it. Ask your inner child to draw a picture of what it wants the most at this time in your life. Take as much time drawing as your inner child needs. Draw with your non-dominant hand. A lot of these exercises were kind of open-ended, and some people really liked that. Most of the time I liked that because I'm kind of an abstract thinker, but a lot of people didn't like it because they kind of want really concrete directives. So this is one of those kind of more abstract things, but I enjoyed it. This actually looks a lot like something that I would have drawn when I was like 8, so I thought that was interesting. We did the Myers-Briggs, so we learned about it and talked about it. I am an INTJ through and through, even on this. This is some Harry Potter worksheets that we did. Like every other Saturday we'd watch Harry Potter and talk about how it related to like our recovery and stuff, which is really interesting and kind of a chill way to spend a Saturday morning. I'm looking at some notes that I took during our Ask a Nurse group, where we'd have one of our nurses come in and she'd answer any questions that we have. And these are very detailed notes about vitamins, and I just like learning stuff. And so I was like writing down EKG, I don't know what you call them, signatures, patterns, something, and how to read those. I thought it was interesting. I also learned about orthostatic hypertension. I hope this isn't too shadowy. Can't tell. It's very bright. This is a character strength thing, where we went through and circled 3 of these things that we thought fit our character the most. For me, I chose love of learning, perseverance, and humor. Humor probably comes as no surprise to people. Yeah, so love of learning, I like mastering new skills and topics, systematically adding to knowledge. For perseverance, it says persistence, industry, and finishing what one starts. I'm not very good at that. I feel like a lot of times, especially when I'm in like a very energetic mood, I want to start everything and then I don't finish everything or anything. Humor, it says playfulness, bringing smiles to others, and being lighthearted. That's something that I learned was really important to me while at Selah, and something that I still try to use as a kind of a tool in my toolbox for my recovery, because there are really hard days, and sometimes turning to humor can be a defense mechanism, but sometimes it's like a saving grace. So it's a difficult balance for sure, to make sure that I'm not doing like self-deprecating jokes and try to do self-aggrandizing jokes instead, which is something one of my friends taught me. A lot of these papers I don't even remember having, and I didn't save all my papers. I did a lot of this stuff in one of my journals that I bought, and I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, so here's a worksheet about body neutrality. Something that we learned at Selah was you're not always going to have body positivity. In fact, for a lot of us, being body positive is not kind of in our wheelhouse. But learning to be body neutral is more about focusing on being grateful for the things that our body can do for us. Like, I'm grateful that I have hands so that I can pick up and hold and hug my cousins, or I'm glad that I have eyes so that I can see the beauty in the world, or I'm thankful for my legs for letting me go the places that I want to go and see things that I want to see. So that's kind of an easier place to get to when your body image just sucks. And a lot of people in eating disorder recovery have a really hard time with body image. A lot of us have body dysmorphia, where we don't see ourselves as other people do. We see like a distorted version of that. Kind of hard to explain, because it's like and even it's hard for me to understand, because it's like I have eyes, I can see, like my eyes aren't messed up, so what do you mean like I'm not seeing what other people see? But I did see some sort of psychological study that mapped the brain patterns of people with body dysmorphia versus people that don't, and they tracked like where their eyes went to people's faces, and in people with neurotypical people, their eyes kind of track in a triangle pattern, kind of to like one eye, to the nose, to the chin, and then back up. It's very predictable. Whereas in someone with body dysmorphia, especially when they're looking at themselves, their eyes are kind of going all over the place and there's no pattern to it. So yeah, I don't know if I can find that study, but that was really interesting, and I'd like to share it if I can find it. List work. That's something that everybody hated and loved at the same time. We worked on assertiveness a lot and setting boundaries, and so this is a worksheet that is divided into 5 columns, and it's divided into empathy, specific behaviors, actions, feelings and beliefs, needs or wants, and boundaries / self-care. And it's basically kind of like a script for us to kind of follow when we are speaking with a loved one or a friend or somebody in our lives that we kind of need to assert our feelings or boundaries with. For example, it kind of lays out the script like you start by saying, from your perspective, I imagine ... and then you list the specific behaviors or actions that they do that you're addressing. So you say like such as, or for example, and then you state the feelings and beliefs. So you say like I currently feel, or I believed, or I currently believe, and then you state the needs and wants. So you say like I currently need or want, or I need you to know that, or I wish that you knew, and then you go and you lay out the boundaries, and you say like recovery is 100% my responsibility, therefore if you can't or won't meet this need, then I will do, and then that's where you set the boundary in order to take care of my own needs. So maybe you say like, if you don't stop talking about or discussing like calories or good or bad foods like around me, I will have to remove myself from the situation so that my recovery is not endangered by that conversation. So yeah, that was really helpful. I feel like my family is pretty good about hearing each other's needs and wants and setting boundaries respectfully, but it's always good to practice. We did art therapy a lot. We had an intern come in and she would work with us 2 or 3 times a week. One of these is a self-portrait prompt, and it says, what is beautiful about you, what have others told you is beautiful about you, and what do you love about yourself? And then you do like a self-portrait in whatever like medium or style that you wanted to do, and I thought that was pretty fun. To tell the truth, I don't even know what I did. I might have to look for something like that. So that's most of the worksheets that I seem to have. Again, I did a lot of stuff not on a worksheet. I did it, kind of transcribed it in my journal that I bought. So the other side, the other pocket in my folder has, we wrote letters to our, that's an address. We wrote letters to ourselves a month before we discharged. I think it was a month. And, oh no, this is back in early February. We received it a month after we discharged, so I got it at the beginning of May, and it was really interesting to read it. I won't read the whole thing, because some of it might be triggering, but it was actually a really good letter. I remember I wrote in here, like, if you haven't had chocolate milk yet, go get a glass right now. And I was eating lunch at the time that I read this, and so me and my mom got a glass of chocolate milk and drank it together, so that was really sweet. But real food freedom is accepting your body for what it is. This isn't a death sentence. It's a ticket to a long and fruitful life, and I hope you get on board. Cordially, Hannah of the past. So, yeah. Being at home is really tricky, because it's not as structured as life in treatment, obviously. You have to make a lot of decisions for yourself, and nobody, I wouldn't say nobody, but you're not really being held accountable at the same level that you would be in treatment. And so a lot of this transition period is really difficult. It's definitely been difficult for me. It's not difficult for everybody. But yeah. I also have pretty much, I think, all of my notes that my therapist typed up during our sessions, which that was the first time that a therapist has ever done that for me, and I really, really, really appreciated that, because then I could go back and remember like what the heck we talked about, because a lot of the times my brain was just in the stratosphere, nowhere to be found. We also learned about Enneagram, and I learned that I'm a type 5, which seems pretty fitting for me. I have a list of distress tolerance exercises. Something that I learned was the 4-4-4 breathing. I think it's called square breathing. So you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and you hold that for 4 seconds, and you do that several rounds, and it's really helpful. We also learned about progressive muscle relaxation, which was really helpful for me, because for me, I get a lot of pent up kind of energy that like flows throughout my muscles and stuff, and that comes out in like popping my neck, and like sometimes I've had this for like my whole life, but like having to like flex my muscles and stuff, and I never knew that was an anxiety response. So progressive muscle relaxation would be like squeezing your fists as hard as you can for like 3 to 5 seconds, and then releasing, and then doing that in different parts of your body, kind of going from maybe the top of your head to your feet. And that's really helpful, especially when I am, in order to maintain my recovery, have to limit the amount of like hard exercise that I do, so that can be helpful. Let's see. Yes, a vocab list of feelings and emotions, and a feelings wheel. We did some like process groups where we basically just go around, and it's kind of open-ended, like how are you feeling, what's going on, and we'd always start off by like identifying our emotions. And in the program that I'm in right now, we're not allowed to use any form of the word okay, fine, or tired, so we have to come up with better descriptors. So that's when like a feelings wheel or a mood meter comes in handy, and that's really nice. We got, sorry, not my picture of Jimmy Carter. That was in my box. This I did not take to Salem, surprisingly. Something else that we got on our admission day is this body image workbook, and when our therapist was like, all right, everybody get your body image workbooks, you could feel the tension in the room. Like nobody wanted to do body image, but it was necessary, a necessary part of our recovery, so we did it. And then this is my like journal that I would journal in. This was really interesting even now to go back and kind of read about where I was, what I was feeling, and kind of how those trends progressed and stuff. This is the notebook that I used for most of my, most everything in treatment. My team, I would get homework and basically just like tasks to kind of do, or journal prompts to think about, and I'd write them down in this. It's really interesting. I did some drawing in it when I was bored, and I have a lot of hand outlines, because I found out that that's like a grounding technique for me when I'm feeling kind of head not present. I like to trace my hand. Not sure why that helps, but it does, so I'm not going to question it. Yeah, some of this stuff is pretty dark, so I probably won't be going through all of that. So we'll move on. This, my sweet friend Bree made this for me on my discharge day, and I was like the MC. I had the Spotify account on the TV, so I was always playing music, and we played Little Wonders by Rob Thomas a lot. But I just think it's a really sweet song, and it's from Meet the Robinsons, which is the most underrated Disney movie in existence. No, I retract that. Atlantis, Meet the Robinsons. I'm missing another one. What's that one where they fly the spaceship in space? No, they fly the water ship in space. It's just called a ship! Adventure Planet? Atlantis? Treasure Planet, Meet the Robinsons. Okay, so that is all to say. She wrote a lot of the lyrics to Little Wonders, and it says, "Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain." And she wrote a really sweet note on the back, and gosh, I miss her so much. I miss all my treatment friends. My friends and I had the idea to make like Girl Scout badges for accomplishments and things that we'd have while in treatment, and it was a fun way to spend our time. So for example, we have a badge for every band that we were on. So I have red band, white band, yellow band, blue band, and green band. I have a badge for every holiday that I was there, so New Year's through Easter. Also the silver band, which is the band that you're supposed to get when you discharge, but I didn't get one because I never wore my bands, and I would not have worn it, so my therapist knew me well. I have a badge for my first poop, which was...
I poured your tea because I wanted
I have a badge for my first poop, which was January 3rd, I think, so like 3 or 4 days after I got there. You get a little backed up. It happens to everybody. I have a Miralax badge for everybody who had Miralax. I took it every day. I have a goldfish badge. I'll have to tell the story about that later. That's a whole nother video. A TMA badge, which means too much activity. That's me. Crochet Queen, I learned how to crochet. 5 on the Enneagram. Slytherin, because apparently according to the 10-question Harry Potter house quiz that we took, I'm a Slytherin. I don't buy it. My therapist says, of course you're a Slytherin, and I'm like, that's kind of an insult. I was the only one. Everybody else was Hufflepuff. That's that one. Oh, and foot plus pencil, because I learned that I can draw with my feet, and I'm really good at it. I would die for Patches, which is the local cat. Best cat ever. I told one of my friends that I got perfect attendance in 5th grade, so she gave me a perfect attendance in 2011 badge. Screamed into a pillow because I screamed into a pillow. Tie blankets because I made tie blankets. Unicorn ring toss. Me and my friend found these inflatable hats with like a horn on it, and you like throw rings and try to like get it in the horn. So it's like ring toss. Blowtorch. We had a burn group where one of the therapists brought in like an actual like shoots fire kind of thing, and people burned clothes that they didn't fit into anymore, or I burned a journal entry where I talked a lot about like I was tracking food still. I was writing it down in notebooks when I first got there, and so I burned that because that's not something I want to do. I got a meal challenge badge because I did a meal challenge there. That's where you kind of pick like a restaurant that you want to get food from that you feel is challenging, and then you eat it with your dietitian. Mine was the Wendy's 4 for $4. Best deal since the Louisiana Purchase. Don't at me. Client-led. I led a client-led group. I have a timeline badge because I presented my timeline, and Shake It Up because I was on shakes, which shakes are kind of a tool for weight restoration. When your dietitian has seen that you've kind of like entered a hypermetabolic state, and that's basically where your metabolism is cranked way the heck up because your body is burning all of this energy to kind of repair itself, so it needs a lot of energy, and they're basically milkshakes, which in the beginning they were fun, and then I had 2 shakes a day, so 2 shakes at morning and afternoon snack, and girl, that was tough. It wasn't always fun. It wasn't always fun. So yeah, that's what's in the sack. I also have this thing that I kept in the art room. It says Hannah's box, please do not throw away, and it's basically where I kept all of my art room stuff and projects that I was working on so they weren't all scattered around. Now it had Jimmy Carter. Excuse me, sir. Am I gonna tell the fish story? I'll tell an abbreviated version. Okay. Basically, one day I got the bright idea, like I wanted a goldfish, right? I wanted to have a goldfish in the house that we could all take care of and feed. I thought it would be cool. So I made like a name bracket because it was kind of like a March Madness situation. So we had like 16 names, and we didn't actually end up doing it, the name bracket. I just came up with the name. I was like going around and being like, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we got a fish? And they were like, yeah, no, can't do that. And I was like, well, why not? And they were like, I don't know, we just can't have a fish. And so I was like, well, of course we can have a fish. And I was like, I'm gonna get a fish. And they're like,
LOL.
and I was like, these guys do not know how serious I am about this. So during group one day, I got on the computer and pretended to be checking my email or something. And I went on to PetSmart, the local PetSmart website, found out that they delivered live fish via DoorDash and that I could have the goldfish within the next like 2 to 4 hours. And so I was like, sign me up. Credit card information done. She's gonna be delivered. It only occurred to me after the fact that I had 12 items in my cart. And I was like, why did I have 12 items in my cart? And so I checked, and it turns out that the minimum quantity for purchase of goldfish is 10. So I bought 10 goldfish, and they were scheduled to be delivered very soon. Long story short, RCs found out. They came to me and they were like,
Hey, Hannah, do you know anything about a goldfish purchase?
And I was like, yeah, I did that. Oops, there's 10. And she's like,
how do we cancel that?
and I was like, girl, I don't know. So she goes on, she helps me cancel it. I was sad. I didn't get in that much trouble. I was just kind of like told basically,
don't buy live animals again.
So that night we had an inning, and we were given like $25 to spend on Hobby Lobby. So I went onto the Hobby Lobby website and purchased 30 inflatable fish instead. And so and then those arrived. I put them all over the house, and I have one still. And I tell you, they were everywhere. They were in the kitchen, they were in the nurse's station, they were on doors and stuff. I don't know. I think once I left, they got rid of them, but I told people to like keep them if they wanted. So I have one of those fish still. He's in the box. I have Valentine. Oh, I guess I use this as my Valentine's box. So I have a whole bunch of Valentines from my friends and some nurses. And so I like looking at those when I am sad. I haven't actually looked at all of these in a while. Oh, dear.
Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source.
This is a card from Mimi.
Humility is the only antidote to shame.
One of the clients wrote, without Valentine's Day, February would be, well, January. You're pretty great, XOXO. My mom's Valentine to me, which is a hedgehog, and pretty freaking great. I found this in the art room with my friend, and so we wore them all over the place. Ooh, Blistex. One of the RCs gave this to me on my discharge day. I forget why. She said something like, he's got big hands, and you always have your hands in something. And like, it was bizarre, but I love her. There, he used to light up. Oh, I don't. Yeah, there we go. I love getting letters. There was a joke that I got all of the letters in the house. So it's like, you'd get the mail and it would be Hannah, 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 Bills, Bills, Hannah, Bills, Bills, Hannah, Hannah, Hannah. Which, having all that support and like knowing that people cared about me was very, very helpful, very nice. I also kept a stack of photos at my table, just like sitting. So like me and my mom, me and the cousins on Easter, me with the bow, me in the swing, me and my soccer friends, me and Bella. My mom sent me a picture of Sophie, I guess. Me and Bella, me and my friend in Animal Crossing. I thought this was so freaking cute. Me in track in like 7th grade. Me, I don't know where we were. Birthday party. Mimi sent me this. She thought it was me, but that's definitely Maggie. It's fine. Me winning the big wheel race. Even though I got like 2nd, I just took my friend's award because he was too scared to go up there. So I was like, I won. Me and my pappy and Tanner. My head looks huge. Me dancing with my cousin. Me and grandparents. That one of Tanner's things, not sure what that was. Me and my dad and Tanner. Me straight vibing, look at her. Me and my mom on the day that I moved into my first dorm. Me and Mimi on Easter. Me and the track gang at State. Me and Pappy, and me and my dad. So yeah, I had a bunch of those at my table. I got a ton of freaking stuff, so this could be like a several part video. I'm pretty sure I left, oh, this thing. My friend, one of my friends made me this. It's like a little tin, and then it's loved and cherished, and it makes the Nita symbol right there. And then these have like little affirmations, like you are loved, be loved, you are precious, child. Yeah, so that's really sweet, and it's nice to look at. Yeah, I got a bunch of other stuff. Oh, freaking more letters. I think these are all my letters, and if this doesn't show you love, I don't know what does. Yeah. I've talked to a bunch of people, and they were like, we're praying for you, and that honestly means so much to me. So yeah,
people see me.
These are all letters that I got while I was
They
there.
want to take care of me, but I can take care of myself
absolutely insane.
by myself.
You sound like my nephew.
I don't know, it's
Always thinking you
pretty
need to do
unbelievable.
things on your own without anyone's support. There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you. Not that I love you, but I just met you.
There's this thing that says, slow progress is still progress. So that's kind of the video. I might do another one of these where I kind of show, if I can find, round up some more of the things that I got while I was there. I did a lot of online shopping, because I was like, well, girl, I'm desperate for serotonin, so I don't even care how much. I bought a $100 rock tumbler while I was there, because it was on sale. 10% off. Goodbye.